What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Zuggy Zone. We are live on YouTube at our normal time. We're back on Thursdays. I know we missed last week.
We love it.
We tried to make it up to you guys last week, but we're here. And Jet, how you doing today?
I'm doing phenomenal. It's great to be back on a Thursday, I'm not going to lie. We did it on Monday, which was a little awkward, but I mean, Thursdays just feel right for Zuggy Zone.
It is, yeah. Because, I mean, historically, this is the day we like to do things. It's the beginning of the football week. And if you guys missed the last episode, what we did to make up was we talked a little bit more about college football, but we are back in the pros today. Talk about some Cleveland Browns trades, get our pick'ems in, and we're trying a new one-sentence pick'em style. So let us know if you guys like that. And as always, feel free to interact in the YouTube chat because we're going to be looking at you guys the whole time. We love hearing from you. But let's get right into things before everybody clicks off the damn stream with the weekly wrap-up. And our first story, Yankees lose! So for those of you who are uninformed on us, so I know I'm wearing a Mariners hat. They're my AL team, but we're both Cardinals fans here. And, you know, if you're a Cardinals fan, you're born to hate the Yankees. Honestly, if you're a baseball fan, you're born to hate the Yankees. But this
Unless you're a Yankees fan.
Yeah, and honestly, if you're a Yankees fan, it's okay to hate the fan base that's around you because they're just annoying. And, like, John Boy Media has always been good, but I hate how biased they are. Anyways, let's get on track here with the Yankees. So yesterday, the Yankees were eliminated from the playoffs after losing Game 4 to the Blue Jays. And they just, in the playoffs and with the roster construction, they are very reliant on the long ball, and while they got some heroics in Game 3 to keep them alive, ultimately not consistent enough, plus injuries to their rotation definitely slowed them down. Like, if they have Garrett Cole, I think maybe they win this series, but they are out, and this is now the third longest franchise history championship drought for them. So this is the third longest their fans have had to wait in their franchise's history for a championship, which... if you're a Yankees fan, you're like, oh, we haven't won in so long. Go fuck yourself, actually. Like, some of us, my dad had to wait 50 years for the Blues to win. The Mariners have never won anything. The Bills have never won anything. Don't even complain to me in the slightest. Plus, you're a Bengals fan. The Bengals have never won either. So we were not the people to preach to on that. But what are your thoughts on the Yankees getting eliminated?
You have 27 World Series. Sit your ass down. You're done. Look, you have 27. The next closest to you is the St. Louis Cardinals at 11.
Yeah.
You are one of the most dominant teams in all of baseball. People expect you to be in the playoffs. People expect you to be in that postseason. Don't complain. It's the third longest drought. You can deal with it. We'll make it the first longest drought for all I care. Like, I don't understand. Last year, you went to the World Series. You choked it there. This time, now you're complaining that you lost before you even touched the World Series. But at least you got a playoff berth.
Yeah.
At least you got past the wild card.
That's more than us since 2019.
I know our team didn't even get into the damn playoffs.
We haven't won a playoff round since 2019.
Exactly. So, no, I feel no sympathy for Yankees fans whatsoever. I think good on Toronto. I think it'd be very funny to see a Canadian team come in and win it. But... I'm not going to get ahead of myself there. And,
they are the official baseball partners of the Buffalo Bills. They're right next to each other. The Buffalo Bills are like when the Blue Jays are in the playoffs, that's the team that they represent because the Bills also have a pretty big Canadian fan base too. Of course, I'm not a big Blue Jays guy. I'm happy to see them having success. First time in the ALCS since 2016 where they will play the Tigers or the Mariners. But what I wanted to talk about in this series, well, for one, the New York Yankees allowed 34 runs, so that's more than 8 per game. That doesn't work. You can't do that in the postseason. But the way the Blue Jays are constructed, they have people across the lineup that have different skill sets that can do different things for them. You know, they have good defensive replacements off the bench, and then they also have guys that can hit for contact, guys that can hit for power. The roster is constructed more completely than the Yankees, And the Yankees have always been that team that buy free agents, bring in talent from the outside, and you're starting to see that without having like some guys that you developed on your own, it's hard to go far because you have holes in your roster when you bring guys in from free agency. You're getting the best available player, but look at their team. They have a lot of power bats. Maybe not a lot of guys that can hit to contact. Maybe they strike out too much, where the Blue Jays just have guys throughout the roster that can do different things for them. And you see it right now in the AL this year. The 7th, 12th, and 14th highest payroll teams are the only teams remaining. Now, does that mean that spending money doesn't work? No, because look at the NL. The Dodgers are still there. The Phillies are still there. The Cubs are still there. But you see in the AL, some of these teams are able to develop talent and build a pretty solid roster, and the Yankees just are missing some pieces, plus they had some injury things this year, and they wasted another year of Judge's prime, which I know we both have thoughts on Judge. What do you want to say about him this year and maybe about his postseason?
Why'd you sign the extension with New York, dude? Why? You could have went to the Dodgers. I'm sure they would have paid you phenomenal money. You could have went to the Blue Jays. You could have went to any team in the MLB that you chose, and you chose the Yankees. I understand the legacy, loyalty to where you're drafted, things like that. But my God, man, they are relying on you for everything, and you're just saying, sure.
I mean, he's being paid handsomely for it. I don't blame him.
He is. But when they have one bad game, who's the one that is their scapegoat?
It's Judge.
Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
Aaron Judge. I mean, he's the thumbnail because he's the one I thought of for Yankees losing. Because anytime that the Yankees lose, you never hear of anything. I mean, Paul Goldschmidt, for God's sakes, is there. And I didn't even think of Paul Goldschmidt right off the bat.
Because he's old.
I thought of exactly.
He's just old.
I thought of Aaron Judge
because
he is their young, great player, and we've consistently talked about him on the show in competition with Cal Raleigh for the home runs.
Yeah.
So,
but I do like that you said young. You said young. This is the problem for the Yankees. He's not some just spry chicken anymore, dude. He's getting older. Eventually, you got to put something around him to win. And yeah, they try. They spend money in free agency. But they just need to, I don't know. They just need to be better about developing guys that come in. Because you get guys from other organizations, they come to the Yankees, and they never quite live up to what they were. And that's part of that is free agents are usually older. Because in Major League Baseball, you can hold on to the young guys for longer than other sports. Those contracts, those arbitration years. The Yankees don't have that. So they get a lot of older guys that come in, or the bullpen guys that got in the trade deadline. Outside of Bednar, I mean, the rest of the guys were okay, and then your big acquisition at the beginning of the year from the Brewers stunk it up all year. So I think from them, it's just analytics. You need to make sure the guys you're bringing in are still going to perform under what you want to do. And when they're not doing well, find a way to trade them to replenish your farm system, because the Yankees' farm system isn't crazy. Like, I don't look at their farm and be like, wow, look at the prospects. So, the Yankees just reset, build the farm, reset for next year, but I hope you still lose because screw you guys. Our second story of the week is the Cleveland Browns making some moves, and I know you're wearing some Bengals gear. You have a quarterback this week that is 40 years old. You got Joe Flacco coming to your squad. What are your thoughts on that?
So I'll get into the news part of it, and then I'll get into my personal opinion of that. So the Bengals ended up sending a 5th-round pick to the Browns, while the Browns gave the Bengals they gave them Flacco, but they also gave him a 6th-round pick, which I know we had a little bit of discussion before the show. I think ultimately the Browns lost that purely because, I don't know, a 5th and a 6th rounder, you can still get some good pieces out of a 5th or 6th rounder, but you're also sending them a quarterback that while he was benched and probably never would have seen the field again, because he would have rotated, he's still reliable as a backup. Maybe not a starter, but he's reliable as a backup. But even then, with Flacco gone, the Browns are now hesitant to even name Shador as their QB2, even though he was QB3. Dylan Gabriel's the starter. They don't even want to move Shador up. They're thinking of moving Bailey Zappi from practice squad up to possibly be QB2. You know how bad that's got to be that you have Bailey Zappi off of practice squad,
tragic,
then
dog.
get promoted above you? So anyway, that's just sort of the news part. Flacco on the Bengals and being immediately, like literally the day after it was announced that they traded for him, immediately named the starter. Good. We're at rock bottom. We're 2-3. We've lost 3 games consistently. Jake Browning is not the answer. I said this last week. I said this on Monday's show, and I've said it on the show before that. Jake Browning is not the answer. There is a reason he got traded off of Minnesota, and I get that he had that one season where he's like, you should have never cut me. Yeah, that season they should have never cut you. However, we're looking at you now to, we have faith in him. And most of the Bengals fans, they had faith in him. By week 2, hey, dude, what the hell? Week 3, we're done. We're done. We're done. We're done. As soon as I saw Zach Taylor say that, we're hesitant on having him start, I knew immediately they were going to be trading for a quarterback. Now, did I want Joe Flacco?
No.
No.
Hell no.
No, not at all. I wanted Jameis Winston. Or maybe even Kenny Pickett. Get Kenny Pickett off the Raiders.
Would you have been okay with Russell Wilson?
No.
Really?
Absolutely not. No.
Huh.
So, a buddy of mine is a real big Bengals fan, and we've went back and forth a lot on this. He said he'd rather have Russell Wilson, or he'd rather have Shador Sanders.
Ooh.
Absolutely not.
No, not Shador.
Neither one of them.
Definitely not Shador.
No, not Shador. I told him Russell Wilson, no, purely because he's just as bad, if not worse than Flacco at being washed. Like, he had one good season, and then other than that, all I have to say is the Broncos are still paying Wilson, and he's playing on New York. And he got benched! And he got benched in New York!
Well, here's what I'll say on
That's
this.
just my thing about Russell.
You guys bring in Flacco, and you say you don't want Wilson, and you wanted Jameis. Well, you would think the Bengals GM would have called New York and been like, okay, guys, I really don't want to sign Flacco. Flacco this year has 5 interceptions to 2 touchdowns. What can we do here? They didn't even contact the Giants. Not a single phone call. The Giants heard nothing from the Bengals. And that's a team with excess goods at quarterback. So I really question the Bengals on that one, not even giving an effort to go to the Giants and say, hey, what do you want for Jameis or what Russell? And I like Russell more than Flacco here because Flacco can't move, and that O-line is shit. So maybe having Russell back there, even though he's older, he can at least move a little bit, and maybe we'll take less sacks behind that awful O-line. But they went with Flacco, and Flacco has been really bad this year. And the thing that concerns me the most is, you looked at Jake Browning. You said he was really bad. Maybe he was just throwing checkdowns. He could not force the ball down the field. He had no time to throw, and when he did, he couldn't find anyone down there, which is pretty damning when you have Jamar Chase on your team. He has the same average depth of target as Joe Flacco. Both of them are just chucking checkdowns, and Flacco had a decent O-line with Cleveland. What do you think's going to happen here? It's just going to be running back screens, short crossing routes, a bunch of 3-and-outs. I don't see this as an upgrade for the Bengals in the slightest.
So, to also kind of build off that, yeah, they didn't call New York at all.
Which is
But
crazy.
you know who they did call?
Who?
They called the Eagles, and they called the Seahawks. That's right.
And they should have went with those.
They called to inquire about Drew Lock, and they called to inquire about Sam Howell, of all players. Those two.
I don't hate that.
I would have 110% trade for Drew Lock. Get Drew Lock. Now, Mizzou. I do like how he played on Mizzou, and I think that he's a good quarterback. You saw what he could do as a backup to Geno Smith when Geno Smith was injured on the Seahawks. You can see he could be that reliable backup. Plus, he's still young. You give him that opportunity to be a backup elsewhere after the season ends. You're not, bringing in an older piece. You're bringing in a somewhat mobile quarterback that can kind of give you that ability. And plus, let's be honest, Drew Lock has played better than Jake Browning, even when they're both active. That's fine. You're bringing in a 40-year-old fossil from the Browns.
I love that, the fossil.
You are bringing in a statue behind one of the Bengals fan. The worst O-line in the NFL right now.
Raiders would like a word, but you're up there for sure.
One of the worst O-lines. I'm saying the worst because while Jake Browning is not good, he's got like 2 seconds to get the ball out, maybe after it snaps, so like he can't let a play develop. Joe Burrow's literally out till December because our O-line is so trash. So what do you think Flacco's going to do? Like, he stands there and he waits for stuff to develop, which he's 40 years old. I'm not expecting him to like juke and all that. Brady didn't even juke that well whenever he was up there in age, but like, I don't understand the thought process of immediately going to Flacco. I get that he's right down the road in Cleveland, but
yeah, I guess maybe because he's smart. You know, you need him in a pinch. He can learn the playbook really fast. Like, he's been on a bunch of different teams, so the concepts aren't going to be too wild for him. But the Browns also made another move. They are trading Mr. Newsome. Also, I got an ad blocker on CBS. Also, all these websites. Can you knock it off with the ad blocker? I understand that people pay you for this stuff, but you don't have to tell the advertiser. Just be like, hey, advertise on CBS. You don't have to tell them this. Let us use like our ad blockers. Come on. But they traded Greg Newsome for Tyson Campbell. So they're both trading cornerbacks, which is really interesting. And then some late round picks. Seems like it's just a fit thing, but something we should throw in there when we're talking about the Browns. They're trying to get better, I guess, in their secondary by getting a guy who's kind of washed. I mean, Tyson Campbell hasn't been great, but neither has Greg Newsome. So, I mean, it's a move. They decided to do something, try to spruce things up. Their defense is fine. Well, it's literally just their offense. Get something on offense going. There's some decent players on your offense that you're not even attempting to use, and you see now that they got Judkins going. He looks really good. I'm actually trying to trade for him in fantasy right now. You have Isaiah Bond, who I know he missed a lot of time, didn't get a lot of preseason in, but that's a guy, maybe throw the ball his way sometimes. Give him some more starts. Give him some more snaps. See what he looks like.
Jerry Jeudy gets nothing either.
Yeah, Jerry Jeudy gets no targets, gets no respect. You know, he's a respectable guy. Is this offense world-beating? No. If Josh Allen or Mahomes was on this team, are they winning a Super Bowl? No. But they could be better.
Is it better than 1-4? I think they're 1-4 right now. But
that sounds
are
right,
they better? Yeah. Are they better than 1-4? Yeah.
But they're just
they should be better than 1-4.
Hey, but you know the Ravens are 1-4 too. Maybe the Browns finish with a better record at the end of the year. That'd be awesome. All right, we're moving into our third and final story of the weekly wrap up, which is a question: did Connor McDavid reset the hockey contract market with his trade? Not with his trade; it's new contract. English is hard. Basically, he took a very, very team-friendly deal the other day. And for those of you who aren't big hockey heads, Connor McDavid, probably the best player in the NHL right now. I'd say he's the modern-day Gretzky. There's really nothing he can't do when he's on the ice. And you saw that a few weeks ago, Kaprizov got a big new deal for the Wild. Maybe a top 10 player in the league, but McDavid's 1 or 2, depending on the year.
Yeah.
McDavid's getting $12.5 million a year for 2 years. Kaprizov got $17 million over the next 8, I believe. But Kaprizov came first. Everyone was looking at this McDavid contract saying, man, I mean, if he got 17, what's McDavid going to get? He got 12.5, and since then, Kyle Connor just re-signed with the Jets for $12 million, and Jack Eichel, who is another guy who's probably in that top 15 mix, got $13.5 million. Eichel's probably close to the same range as Kaprizov, maybe a few spots down, like on my list of top players.
Yeah.
I really think this whole contract with McDavid really did reset the market, and players are going to have to start taking, not a pay cut, because the cap did go up, but they're not going to get as much as we thought.
No. And it's weird. You don't really see this unless you know that they've bought into the team, and they've bought into the mentality that team can have. So I think this 2-year very friendly deal is because the Oilers went to the Stanley Cup last year and they were so close. They almost had it done. They just were missing a few key components. They were, missing crucial plays that they really should have made. And it just ultimately led to them kind of losing it.
Yeah.
And especially after the Four Nations, I remember we were really hype on that one.
Yeah.
Like having another Canada versus US, but US took it home and all that. Like, I think that's what led into McDavid. We did.
I mean,
we
didn't
got
want
Lord
the Panthers
Stanley.
to win. I would have rather the Oilers, but hey, America wins another Stanley. Y'all can take your participation tournament win that I'm totally not salty about.
If they could have flipped that, America win the Four Nations.
That would have
let
been
the Oilers
yeah.
have this Lord Stanley.
Hey, the
that would have
Olympics
been
are this year.
ideal.
We got the Olympics. We're coming for you, Canada. Better watch yourself.
No, but I think they were just missing a few key pieces, and they wanted to keep McDavid, but they were like, look, we can't really pay you that much if we're wanting to be that competitive. And I think McDavid knew that, understood that, and was like, hey, it's short term, but it's cheap. I'm here. However, after this year, or after these next 2 years, if we're just getting worse and worse and we're not even close to competitive, what's that viral meme? Just give me my money. That one.
Time to bring me my money.
Bring me my money. No, this is like just a baffling deal that you would never see an NFL, an MLB, an NBA player ever make, because while they say they are team players, it's about that money. It's about that generational money. The only time that you see a player do it is if they genuinely want to have a team built around them. NFL side, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, all that, they rework their contract 1,000,001 times. This is honestly done probably for the best. Maybe not for the players because they won't get that generational wealth. They're still getting paid millions, but
the rest of the league got screwed. But for the Oilers, this is the best case scenario.
Phenomenal.
Because
best case.
After these 2 years, it's probably $20 million and up for McDavid. And will he be in Edmonton? Because their cap situation has been difficult the last few years. They just had to re-sign Matthias Ekholm. They just got that done this week. They don't have depth. That's their big thing. They have two of the best players in hockey in Draisaitl and McDavid. And then their second and third D pairs are never good. Their second, third, fourth lines, not the greatest. And sometimes they have to split up McDavid and Draisaitl to try to get production out of those. When you got two guys that make that type of money, it's really hard to build a team. And after these 2 years, if they don't have a cup, their window's closed 100%.
Oh, yeah.
But that is all for the weekly wrap-up. And this week, we are going to try something a little bit different with our Pick'em segment. Because as you guys know, if you watched our show, we go forever. Pick'ems are fun. We love football. I mean, football is a fun sport to talk about. But we're going to try something different this week where when it's my turn to say who I'm going to take, especially with this first game, Eagles-Giants, I'm going to give you one sentence on who's going to win and why, and then we're going to bounce back and forth. And then, Jet, I think your camera's a tiny bit out of focus. I'm not sure what happened there. Yeah, give it the hand check. And, oh, he's back. Beautiful.
Hey.
Beautiful. All right.
Just got to do that real quick.
So, one sentence pick'ems. Let us know how you guys like this, and Jet will be providing polls in the YouTube chat so you guys can let us know who you are taking this week. Last week had a lot of upsets. This week it looks pretty down the line on most of these games, but you never know. That's why you gotta play. So, first one. You got the Eagles. You got the Giants. My one sentence. The Eagles are hungry, and the Giants are an inconsistent mess. Give me the Eagles.
Honestly, I agree with you. Eagles. The Eagles are coming off their first loss, and the Giants, they're getting there. But it's just cruel to put them against the Eagles.
I agree with you on that one. Yeah,
Eagles.
And I know I have a bet on this one later. It's the Eagles the last few weeks have been really stupid offensively. Like, just not like against the Buccaneers. You go to the second half and you don't you don't throw the football at all. Mm-hmm. And then the next week, everyone's like, why didn't you guys throw the football? I mean, you guys are stupid. So you get in the second half against the Broncos and you're trying to air it out and you refuse to run you have a great roster. Use it. Don't just use half of it. Stop being stupid on offense because your team is way too good for you guys to be 4-1. You should be 5-0 easily, which is crazy to say. They're too good to be 4-1. That feels weird to say, but this team is one of those that's built, like if you had to pick a team to go 17-0, it would be this squad,
Eagles.
But the coaching is holding them back. But the Giants are not good, so give me the Eagles.
Eagles all the way.
What's your sentence?
Alrighty. I got it. I mean, you summed it perfectly. The Eagles should have been 17-0. They weren't. They're 4-1 against a Broncos team that is still technically rebuilding. Sean Payton's doing some amazing work out there, but the Eagles have the components. They have the young defense that is Super Bowl worthy. They have the offense that can sustain under that defense, but I still think Nick Sirianni is the biggest issue there. I'm still going to take Eagles over Giants, but I mean, I think Nick Sirianni is honestly probably the biggest issue in Philly right now.
Very overrated. And that's crazy to say when you've been to 2 Super Bowls and you won one of them.
Yeah.
Our next game is the Broncos and the New York Jets. Jet, what is your one sentence pick'em?
Give me the Jets. I've got faith. I've got hope. And I hope that they have determination. But I think the Jets finally get their first win over the Broncos this year.
Okay, well, I'm just going to come back with my sentence on top of that because it is the exact opposite. The Jets are an uninspired garbage heap with empty offensive stats. Give me the Broncos in this one. So you're going Jets. I'm going Broncos.
I'm going Jets.
You've been doing this every week where you throw a shitty one in there. I'll ask you this. Do you genuinely believe in the Jets at all here?
Genuinely, I believe that this is one that they could get it done. The Broncos have been struggling all year. The 3 wins that they have been fights to get them done.
What about the momentum, right? Because you say that, the fights. They just played the Eagles. Eagles are a very good team, and while the Eagles shot themselves in the foot, the Broncos' second half was really solid. I liked what I saw there. Do you not take the momentum coming into this one of the Jets just got bitched by the Cowboys and have no hope for the rest of the year, where the Broncos are like, hey, we're right there. We're a wild card team. Maybe we can try to get the division because the Chargers are struggling. Does that not play into this for you?
I mean, it does, but at the same, kind of like how you said the offense is full of empty points or empty stats. I think that the offense is finally starting to click. I think, even though, yeah, they should have won the one against the Cowboys, that should not have been as dominant as a win as it was for Dallas.
Well, that's because the Eagles are ass. I mean, the Jets are ass. They're dog shit. I mean, you have a defensive-minded head coach with a lot of talent on that defense, and they're not doing anything.
I don't know. Something tells me that the Jets are going to close it up this week. I think Denver moves to 3-3, and I think the Jets move to 1-5, which is really bad to say. But I think the Jets are going to go 1-5 now, not 0-6.
Man, if the Titans can win a football game, I guess so can the Jets. All right.
And the Titans are doing it so much uglier than what the Jets... the Titans are ultimately the worst team in football, and they have a win. I think the Jets are overdue.
All right, well, for this next one, I got a special for you guys. I don't have a sentence, but I have about a minute of a video that I think everybody here needs to hear. Urinating Tree, I think, put it the best for the Arizona Cardinals and what they need to do moving forward as a franchise. So without further ado, here is one of the best rants I heard this week from Urinating Tree.
Fathom what I've seen with my very own eyes. The Cardinals should commit seppuku in midfield. They have no honor. You couldn't conjure a more mind-boggling, numbingly retarded way to lose a football game than this. Forgive me, Matt Eberflus. I didn't know the depth the team was going to fail. This isn't the kind of loss that derails seasons. It derails entire regimes. Any culture that was built's destroyed. Any mantras ring hollow. Core philosophies abandoned on a whim. The only explanation I have for this is that the Cardinals put money on the Titans' money line. There's nothing else that makes sense. The NFL should immediately investigate Arizona for these allegations. Even if they find nothing sanctioned and fine them a fortune anyway. Cutting DeMercado for his gross incompetence isn't enough. Firing people for this failure isn't enough. You have to imitate Stalin. Purge everything. Gather every employee on the field of play, make them fight to the death, and then mercy kill them.
Oh, God.
Bury them all in a mass grave, burn the bodies, and seal the ashes in concrete. Then you drag out that failed son of an owner and publicly decapitate him via guillotine. After the blood dries, you place his severed head in a pike outside the stadium as a warning to all those that dare to imitate this ineptitude on full display. A few days later, nuke the city from orbit. It's the only way to make sure the stench is gone. Nuclear winter's far more desirable than Cardinals football. The silence won't humiliate you further. Tennessee also loses by having Brian Callahan employed for another week. How the fuck do you let him win by doing nothing?
If you get the opportunity, you should kill yourself.
Anyway. Yeah.
Oh my god, I didn't hear that before stream, and I'm so glad I didn't hear that before stream.
I wanted your live
great.
reaction on that. So yeah, give me the Colts
Oh
in this
my
one.
god.
That
Oh my god, yeah, give me the Colts. Oh my god, that was oh, that made my eyes
Dude,
water.
like-
Oh, that's so good.
how do you let a team score on an interception? After last week with what the Colts did, how do you drop the ball before the end zone? The Cardinals, I have this written in my notes here, and I wholeheartedly believe this. They are not going to win another football game until week 15. At least I won't pick them to win one. They have the Colts, Packers, Cowboys, Seahawks, 49ers, Jaguars, Buccaneers, and Rams coming up. In week 15, they got the Houston losers. I'm going to call them the losers for now. I know they won last week, but I just can't trust the Texans. So that's why week 15, I'll say this, the Cardinals might have a chance, but until then, I'm not picking you guys. You lost to the Titans. You look horribly inconsistent. Kyler Murray, we don't even know if he's going to play this week. He didn't practice today, but I don't care who's behind center. I don't care if it's Tom Brady himself. You guys will find a way to fuck it up. Give me the Colts.
Oh yeah. No, give me the Colts. I mean, Indiana Jones, Michael Pittman, Jonathan Taylor, Tyler Warren.
He's been great. He's been really good.
Been
This
just
whole team looks really
beautiful.
good. Like, I don't understand
It
from last
does.
year. I did not like Steichen as a hire, and I also do not like their GM. Their GM should still be fired after this year, but you can't fire him when they have success. Same thing with the Bills. Like, I think our GM should be fired and our head coach, but when you win enough games, you can't fire them. So, give us the Colts in this
It's kind of
one.
the thing of consistently good is not always what's consistently best, but it makes it really hard for an argument of we need to get consistently better and you need to be gone to do it, but you're winning under him. So it's that double-edged sword.
Yeah, and like part of that too is like, you know, like Brian Callahan this week, he should be fired. He's a terrible head coach for the Titans, but they accidentally won a football game and now he gets to keep his job. Like,
Speaking of terrible head coaches, let's move on to the next week.
oh
right?
yeah. What do you got for me?
Oh my God! I've got Chargers through and through, and I don't think I need to explain this other than fire Mike McDaniels. God, fire Mike McDaniels. They are 1-4, and you are letting Tua get up on a stage and basically just go, well, if I throw 5 interceptions, I still get to go home and play with my kids. If I throw 5 touchdowns, I do the same thing. So what does it matter? You're the quarterback! You're the franchise quarterback! That's what
He's
matters!
trying.
Fire Mike
It's just
McDaniels.
when he goes
Get
out
him
on the field, he's seeing a kaleidoscope
Get
out
him
of his
out.
vision because he has so many concussions.
Dude, the CTE is hitting hard this year, and you can tell.
Give me the Chargers here. My one sentence is based off of something my Dolphins friend Caleb said. The Dolphins have a BK, have it your way defense, and the Titans could probably score 30 on this team. You can do whatever you want against the Dolphins. If Rico Dowdle can run for 200 yards, this Chargers O-line can hold it together. And I know they're injured, and like Joe Alt is out, Rashawn Slater not going to play this season, which really sucks, because if that O-line stuck together, this team, you saw it the first few weeks, they look like Super Bowl contenders, and Herbert kind of struggles with the pressure a bit. In his face. He's not the greatest quarterback when blitzed or when there's pressure on him. But the Dolphins can't get a lot of pressure, so give me the Chargers this week. The next game, it's the Poo-Poo Browns versus the surprisingly 3-1 Pittsburgh Steelers. My one sentence is the Steelers pass rush is going to make Dylan Gabriel shit bricks on Sunday. Give me the Steelers. You got a rookie QB in there against Tomlin. That's scary. Rookie QBs usually struggle against Tomlin defenses. The rest of the league doesn't seem to, because I think Tomlin's overrated as hell. But rookies really do struggle with all the things he does, so give me the Steelers here.
Before I give you my pick, and before I bring the new poll into the chat, we got a 50-50 split.
Oh.
That's right, we got a 50-50 split between Chargers and Miami. Whoever voted for Miami, we'd love to hear your opinion on why you think we're wrong.
Leave something in the chat for us. We'd love to hear from you guys.
Yeah, we'd love to hear why you think we're wrong on that one. And this isn't like a clowning. We genuinely want to know why you think Miami might win this game. But on to my pick of Poo-Poo Browns versus the stagnant Steelers.
Stagnant Steelers. I like that.
The stagnant
That's really
Steelers.
Good.
Give me the Browns. I'm not even kidding. Give me the Browns. I think that Dylan Gabriel showed a lot of promise in that first game, and I think he showed a lot of. I think that he showed it. I don't know. Kind of like you said, Jerry Jeudy. There's David Njoku. There's Quinshad Judkins. Isaiah Bond. They have the pieces to put it together, and they have a quarterback now that's a little bit more consistent and that can actually play at that level that they want to be, which is aggressive. And I think the defense, especially Myles Garrett, is going to get behind that O-line and give Rodgers a lot of trouble. Because Rodgers ain't exactly mobile anymore after the Jets. He's, he's kind of just like Flacco. He's a statue. Yeah.
I'll say this. You mentioned that. The thing about Aaron Rodgers that made him so bad with the Jets is that he thought he was still in his prime. He kept trying to do the same things. What I'm seeing with him on the Steelers right now is he's getting the ball out basically under 2 seconds every time. It's quick throws because he has quick receivers that are getting open right away. And the Browns pass rush probably won't have time to get to him. I mean, Myles Garrett's going to get a sack or something. He always does. He's great. I mean, he's one of the best players in the National Football League. But we're Dylan Gabriel. You mentioned all these weapons that he has, right? And he actually threw to Njoku last week. The problem was he was 2 for 8 in that game on throws over 10 yards down the field. He's a young quarterback. Throwing down the field is scary. It really is. And trying to build chemistry with your guys and knowing what routes they're going to run and how to make adjustments on the route tree and all that. The only way to beat the Steelers is over the top. We saw it with the Seahawks when they did it. Deep passes, their secondary is kind of weak. Can Dylan Gabriel challenge that? And you think they can. I'm on the fence about it. We don't know what he's going to be yet. So I'm going to take the Steelers. It's the safe pick here.
And, that's very fair. That is very fair. I think I'm even kind of choked up on how bad my pick might be. However, I'm going to stick with it because I think the Browns definitely have a shot. I think this is one of the very few times where I could pick the Browns and feel somewhat confident in my pick because the Steelers are good, but the Steelers are always good. It's whether or not they can, actually keep the momentum going, which the week before they went on the bye, Metcalf and Rodgers, my God, you didn't want to see them going down the field. However, this is coming off of a bye. We don't know how they're going to perform. This could be, sometimes teams after the bye, they do phenomenal, and that week of rest did really well for them. Some teams, they had that 1 week of rest, and they dream of Cancun the rest of the season. And that's how it ultimately ends.
Yeah, but Rodgers is so old, right? He's so old. You give him a week of rest to get healthy, and you give Tomlin an extra week to scheme for a rookie quarterback when normally you only have 1 week. He got the extra week here to go against a team that already struggled offensively all season long. So we got different sides of this. I like that you're standing on business. You're picking the upset. You're a stronger man than I. This next one, I think we're going the same way, but I'll let you lead off.
Give me the Panthers. No, I'm kidding. Give me the Cowboys.
Yeah,
I got the Cowboys. No.
I feel like you're at your weekly limit right now for upset picks.
No, normally it hurts to pick the Cowboys in a scenario, but this one is just so glaringly obvious that it's going to be the Cowboys. The Panthers are lucky they're 2-3. They really are. How they have 2 wins on the season compared to some blows my mind. But the Cowboys, every time that they've gotten to a loss, or even that one tie, it was toe-to-toe the entire time, and that was against much tougher teams. I think the Panthers are going to get slaughtered. I think they have no business winning this football game if they win this, or if they were to win this football game. But no, give me Dallas.
Yeah, my one sentence here is if you need 200 yards from your backup running back just to barely beat the Dolphins, you're not beating a real football team. So give me the Cowboys. Rico Dowdle had a nice game, but I could line up at running back and have a nice game against the Dolphins. So that's kind of where I'm at on this. I think that in this game, Bryce Young is going to have to throw the ball to win. And that is a scary thought, I know, for me and most Panthers fans, because Bryce Young has not taken the next step like people thought he would. I think after this year, they're probably going with a different quarterback unless he shows us something. And, the Cowboys are just a Micah Parsons away from really competing this season.
I know. If only they had a player like Micah Parsons.
Yeah, because your secondary is cheeks, so maybe if you had a pass rush that could help them out a little bit, maybe you'd be a good football team. But instead, you're 2-2-1 with one of the best offenses in football. And Javonte Williams, we thought you weren't going to have a run game. He's been great. There are a lot of really good things about this Cowboys team. Pickens has stepped up when CeeDee Lamb's been out. You're getting production across the board, but your defense is so bad. It's not going to matter, though, because the Panthers are even worse.
That is what I was going to say. I was going to bring up the fact that you went and got Pickens in the offseason. You have CeeDee Lamb. He's injured now, but you have him. When he comes back, that's going to be another receiver threat. Jake Ferguson, do not let that man go unsaid, because probably one of the, if not the best tight end right now in all of the NFL. And Javonte Williams in that backfield, when at the beginning of the season, your running back room was what was the problem child. Now you're proving that Javonte Williams is apparently your solution to that. But my God, your defense sucks.
Yeah.
Still give me the Cowboys.
Yep, give us the Cowboys.
And Chad is in agreement.
100%?
Is in agreement. 100% on the Cowboys.
So for this next one, we got the Seahawks at the Jags. Jags coming off a big win. Here's what I say about this one. Look, the Seahawks are a better football team, but they turn over the ball a lot, and the Jags force the most turnovers in the league. That's going to be a big key in this one, so I'm going to take the Jaguars on that.
I'm going to take the Seahawks. This one is more of a 50-50 split than it is sort of a wild pick. I think the Jags are great. I think they're doing phenomenal. I think that, honestly, they're very competitive, and I think that they do have a very high chance of winning this game. But Seattle's nothing to scoff at either.
No, they're a good football team. I'm not doubting them. It's just their defense hasn't been great the last few weeks, and if the Chiefs, I understand the pick six also had a big reason why the Jags won, but if the Chiefs are letting the Jags score points and they have a pretty solid defense, I feel like the Jags can do something here, but it's up to Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
He's Mr. Inconsistency. Hell, even when he scores a game-winning touchdown, he stumbles and falls on his ass. That's the epitome of what he is as a quarterback. And if he has a good game, they probably win. If he has a bad game, the Seahawks win. This is going to be most likely the game of the week, because the rest of them are pretty split, unless like the Ravens game is somehow good. I don't see Cooper Rush doing anything, though. And we're going to talk about that one moving on.
I was about to say, speaking of which, let's talk about that game.
Yeah, you got this.
Yeah, I'll lead with mine. And God, I hate saying this so much. Yep. And I think you know by me saying this what my pick is.
Yeah.
It's the Rams. I hate it. The Rams beat the Ravens because the Ravens, you just cannot have confidence behind anything of what they're doing right now. They're collectively awful from offense to defense. You let the Texans bully you. Rams.
Yep. There's some reports that like the locker room's kind of getting toxic in Baltimore, that the words of Harbaugh are kind of falling on deaf ears, that like no one really is inspired at this point. Like, he's not a bad head coach. You can definitely do a lot worse, but by season's end, they should probably try something different. This is the type of thing I wish, I don't want the Bills to ever be 1-4, but this is the type of thing that needs to happen to my team if we ever want to win a Super Bowl, is have some stinker weeks and fire a coach or something, and maybe this will be the best for the Ravens, but this season does look pretty lost because the Ravens are just a mess. They're injured right now. And while the Rams did lose to the 49ers, that's a divisional matchup. Anything can happen. That's why your Browns pick doesn't look too bad. In the division, you usually split against decent teams. The Bills lost to the Patriots last week. Anyone can beat anyone. So I don't feel too bad picking the Rams here, even though they lost to the 49ers last week. The next game, I hate the Pats so much, right? I'm wearing a Blues shirt. The Bruins, they're a team I've always hated my whole life. Ever since that Stanley Cup final. As a Bills fan, you can't like the Patriots. Nobody likes the Patriots because they lorded over us our entire childhoods and kept winning Super Bowls. but I have a feeling they're kind of back. So the Patriots look legit, and the Saints are still tanking on the season. Give me the Pats.
How does that feel as a Bills fan? In your soul to say that Pats are back?
It doesn't feel good, but I also said it when Mac Jones was their quarterback, and we all saw how that went. So maybe.
Okay, fair enough.
But Drake May actually looks competent.
Hey,
like he has tools.
Mac Jones looked good on San Fran, so maybe it was
because
the
they have
Belichick
real
part of
coaching
it.
over there.
Yeah, maybe it was the Belichick part of Patriots. They got Mike Vrabel, which, speaking of which, that is part of the reason why I'm picking the Pats. Mike Vrabel he did to the Pats what he did to the Titans in transforming them. He's made them competitive again in a positive way. Like, he is building that offense around May. Plus, they gave a new head coach a ton of money to work with in the offseason.
Right.
And it's starting to show. So, and the Saints, any Saints fan that I've talked to, we're tanking for Arch. All right, continue tanking for Arch. Give me the Pats.
Yeah, well, they're not going to get Arch because Arch isn't going to be in the draft, and if he is, he's going undrafted because holy shit, he has been bad. He has been so bad. I mean, he's going to get Sarkisian fired from Texas if he keeps this up, which is unfair to Sarkisian because I think he's done a decent job with that program. But
look at Quinn Ewers. He was great with Quinn Ewers, but yet for whatever reason, Arch Manning comes in and he's going to fuck that dude's whole career.
Ewers should have never gone in the draft this year. I'll still say that. I know it's off topic. But he could have made more money in NIL than he's making in the NFL right now, had another year to develop, and try to go to a team and be a starter, and instead he's on the Dolphins as a backup. I'll never understand that. If Ewers was on this Texas team, they might win a natty, but instead you have Arch Manning, and let's be real, no one's drafting him after this year, and he's not going to be in the draft. This next game, I'd rather see a meteor hit the stadium than have to watch this one. But the Raiders have better skill positions. And while Pete Carroll has been a bad coach, he's infinitely better than Brian Callahan. So I am going to take the Raiders here, and so are 77% of people. The Titans are just not a good football team. You're not taking the Titans. I see that face over there. You're not taking the Titans, are you?
I'm taking the Titans.
Why?
I'm genuinely taking the Titans. I've lost complete faith in Pete Carroll, in Geno Smith, unless they were to give Ashton Genty 50 touches a half and make him do all the work of the offense. I have no faith. Jacoby Myers isn't doing anything. I can't even really name any of their other receivers because they're not doing anything.
Bowers is hurt. Yeah.
Bowers is hurt. But even then, with Bowers, they don't use him.
No.
I think that is what is so aggravating is I took Bowers in 2 fantasy leagues because I'm like, Bowers was great. And when they had Aiden O'Connell last year, Bowers was great. You're telling me Aiden O'Connell of all quarterbacks knew how to use Brock Bowers better than Geno Smith? So, no,
Who's their OC right now? Who's the Raiders OC?
Way?
Hang on, you cut out.
Oh,
you're good. You're back.
Okay.
What'd you say?
I think the Titans are going to try and work their way back into the good graces. I think the Titans are bringing in momentum. I think they're going to bring that momentum of their first win into that. Plus, I think after their own quarterback, Cam Ward, came out and said, real talk, we're ass.
Well,
I think that lit a fire under that whole team that it's a 1-4 versus 1-4. One of these teams is going to be 1-5, and more than likely, a head coach is getting fired.
No, they're going to be
1-4
and 1. This is ending in a tie. We talked about it before the game. If there was ever a game to end in a tie, it's going to be this one. And what would the score be?
If only there was a tie button.
It'd be like
If only there was a tie
17-17.
button.
17, no, not even. Maybe like 13-13, because 1 touchdown, 2 field goals aside. That seems about right for these two franchises.
10-10.
10-10.
Field goal, that's it.
Could be the first 4-4 game.
Give
me that scoregami. Give me that.
2 safeties each.
Or we could get 6-1. You know how to get 6-1, right? There is a way to score 1 point. You know how to do this, correct?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm a scoregami nerd. I've watched those scoregami videos. I love the history of it. I really love Secret Base's videos. So if you go for 2 on a touchdown, and then inexplicably you somehow get safetied 98 yards in the wrong direction while going for 2, it is worth 1 point. and then the score would be 6-1. And it is the most unlikely score we'll probably ever see because you'd have to assume one touchdown is going to be scored, nothing else is going to happen, and you need that to happen in the game. But it's possible for 6-1 to happen in an NFL game.
Never did I. That's such an outlandish stat fact that I never would have guessed that was ever even possible in the NFL.
I think next year what I'm going to do when I officiate flag football is I'm going to have a team. If it's 2 bad teams, right, end of the game, I'm going to try to manufacture it. I'm going to tell the QB, hey, buddy, if you run all the way back to your own end zone, it's the last play of the game. It's worth 1 point and be really funny. Maybe I could convince a kid to do it. So I might try that next year.
Get them to throw away a point.
Or like talk to the coach before the game and be like, hey, dude, if it's 6-0 late, you just score a touchdown to win the game, can you please just do the 1 point safety? I want to send that to my boss so he's like, no, this can't be right. But anyways, our next game of the week, we got the 49ers and the Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield is a dog, and Ibuka is going to torch this battered defense. Give me the Bucs. It's going to be a good game, and Mac Jones looks really good right now, but they benefited from playing the Rams because they can match up against the Rams. They know the Rams like the back of their hand. This is a non-divisional matchup against the Buccaneers team that has a lot of momentum. Yes, they're injured. Yeah, their O-line's kind of shot. Yes, they've had their injuries, but I'm taking the Bucs here. I think they're going to get it done against the Niners.
By the way, real quick, Electrum's in chat. International audience. We love to see that. I forget. We're doing these football talks. He doesn't. They don't understand.
He knows nothing.
Football.
Yeah, he does not know football.
But hey, pick to your heart's content. We love the interaction. Pick to your heart's content, bud.
What do you say?
He was like, woohoo, Titans, has no idea.
Yay, let's go Titans! Yeah! Who are the Titans?
Hey,
where are they
their
from?
logos and their name are pretty cool, but other than that, that's about where the coolness ends. I think, honestly, this was the hardest game to pick for me, was between the Niners and the Bucs, because I think this one, with Mac Jones, they have that sort of depleted offense and depleted defense. Kittle's back. They get one target back, and that is Kittle. But Emeka Egbuka, God, he's just unstoppable. He's on pace to be a Triple Crown winner for a rookie, which is like...
He will at some point.
Hard.
When Evans eventually retires, I think he could probably do it. It's just the problem is you have a decent tight end, you have Evans, you have Godwin, and you have Egbuka. There's just too many people that need to get the football, and you have a decent running game. So maybe one of these years, if they don't have quite the run game and these guys are out of the picture, I definitely see that. He could definitely win a Triple Crown in his career because he looks great. He looks outstanding right now. Just fuck it. He's down there somewhere. He's going to catch it.
I'll say this, though. I have the Niners.
You have the Niners? It's going to be a good football game. I'm with you on that.
It is. I think this is honestly going to be a really close game. I think either way that we pick this is going to be one of those ones where we disagree on who may win, but both options are still viable and not outlandish. So, yeah, I got the Niners on this one.
Next game, we got the Bengals and the Packers. And Green Bay has already played Flacco this year and isn't going to lose to him twice. And they really didn't lose to him the first time. They lost to the Browns defense, and they lost to themselves because they turned the ball over and just didn't have a good game plan. I know you're a Bengals fan. I know you don't like picking against your team, but I'm taking the Packers, and I'm assuming you're doing the same.
You assume very wrong.
Why would you take the Bengals?
Give me the Bengals.
Oh my God!
We got Flacco back there. The wacko Flacco.
You didn't like it. You said earlier I didn't like the Flacco move. He's a statue.
No, I don't like
the sucks.
No. Don't get it confused. I don't like the Flacco move. However, they've already lost to Flacco once. What's another go
He played
around?
like shit in that football game.
They did.
Like he was bad. Like I think he had an interception in that one. I don't believe he threw a touchdown pass. He was kind of a non-factor in that football game against the Packers. Plus, you got Micah Parsons in a really good pass rush against a shitty O-line and a quarterback that can't move. You do this every week, and you accidentally fall into a bunch of the upset picks, and that's why you're still alive. This is throwing a game away. The Packers are going to beat the Bengals, and they're going to do it confidently, and whatever the spread is, I would take them on that too.
I don't know. Chat's starting to agree with me.
It's because Electrum's in there, and he wants to vote against whatever I say. Like, he knows me. We're friends. He just wants to pick against me because he thinks it's funny.
I don't. We got a couple people.
Yeah, how many viewers do we have right now?
As of right now, we got 3.
Hey.
We got 3 people.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm happy that you guys have showed up today. And once again, like, give us your thoughts and opinions in chat. We love hearing from you guys, but you're taking the Bengals in this one because you're being funny.
50-50 now.
You're being a homer.
No. It's 67-33, Green Bay.
Yeah, it's because I went in the chat on my alt account.
That's cheating.
All right.
That's funny, though.
Next
That's
game,
funny, though.
we got the Lions, we got the Chiefs. What's your one sentence?
Chiefs terrible. They just lost to the Jags, and they look like the ghost of Chiefs past. Like, there's no way the Chiefs beat probably one of the most dominant teams we've seen over the past few seasons in the Lions, especially a full healthy Lions. Give me the Lions.
All right, I'm going with the
not
Lions
6-7.
too. The Lions have gone belt to ass on everybody, and what was really shocking for me statistically is when I pulled up that Jake Browning versus Flacco average depth of target stat, I really didn't expect to see Jared Goff being lower than both of them. But he doesn't have to force the ball down the field. And I think at some point this year, they're going to have a game against a team that they're like, all right, we should beat these guys. I want to see him try to do that a bit more. Because your check down game works. You have Jahmyr Gibbs. You have, why am I blanking? Good tight end.
Sam Laporta.
Sam Laporta. You have guys underneath who are really solid. Amon-Ra over the middle of the field. But I want to see them start stretching it a bit. But yeah, we're taking the Lions in this one. The Chiefs don't look good. They're going to play tight. They always do. But the Lions are just the better team. And then the Buffalo Bills and the Atlanta Falcons. It's tough for me because I am a Bills fan and I am not very high on my team right now. But in reality, if we play 3 quarters of decent offensive football, we let Josh Allen do his thing, and we give James Cook the ball, we will win the game. But our defense is still dog shit. McDermott is still a fraud. And I've tweeted about it earlier this week. We keep bringing guys back into the organization because they're a culture fit, because they're good guys. Look at all the Super Bowl teams to ever win. You have some thugs on that team. You have people that talk shit. You have guys that are genuinely bad people. Sometimes you need that. Some guys that are a little bit gritty, some dirty guys on the football team. Yeah, am I going to root for them as hard? No, like I'm never going to root for someone like Tyreek Hill. But just bringing guys in because of their culture and their vibe is not how you win Super Bowls, and the Bills continue to do that. But against the Falcons, they're simply a better team. They should get the job done.
Yeah, no, look, you're probably one of the best social media teams. If there was a social media likableness award, the Bills would win every single year. Y'all have built probably one of the best culture fit teams ever. Where's the championship?
There isn't one.
The most you could have done for your quarterback, who is arguably better than Mahomes in some aspects, better than Lamar in some aspects, better than Burrow in some aspects. Why does he only have one MVP? That is still under constant scrutiny to this day because people think Lamar should have gotten it. That is not me. I think Josh Allen deserved it through and through.
They should have swapped. The year that Lamar won it, Allen should have won. The next year, I think Lamar was more deserving. But both years, it was trying to force feed an MVP and force a narrative. Anyways, continue. Sorry.
No, I get it. And no, God, dude. I think Buffalo's going to win this. But I wholeheartedly agree with you that they need a culture change. Not a culture change. They need a coach change.
They do.
They need to change that whole front office, really.
Right, because you have McDermott, right? And he is I'm a very calm individual who also referenced 9/11 in a motivational speech a few years back. Don't forget that. Never forget that he did that. That he was like, we need to work together like the terrorists on 9/11. He said that.
What?
You did? Yeah. He said that a few years back. When we were struggling the one year and someone released a report. That's something he has said. I don't think he's well liked by most of the guys. He doesn't have the energy that someone like Dan Campbell does. And his defensive schemes are baffling to me. Like last week on the broadcast, we start blitzing later in the game, trying to generate pressure to take some of the pressure off of the secondary. And the announcers are picking it up immediately. If the announcers are picking up the pressure and why they're doing it and how they're doing it and when they're going to change, because they also called out on the broadcast, if the Bills, if he keeps doing this, they're going to change. Next play, we changed our coverage completely. If the announcers know what you're doing and can break it down like in plain Jane, not like the normal, he ran this type of route, like your game scheming, I think the other team knows what you're doing as well. So just, God damn it, we're so good. We should be winning a Super Bowl this year, but oh my God. Anyways, Bears Commanders, this one is intriguing. I like this matchup. It's going to be closer than you think, but the Commanders over the last 2 years have won the games that they are supposed to, and last year they won on a Hail Mary versus the Bears. Give me the Commanders in this one.
Yeah, I think the Commanders win it, but they're going to be a little depleted. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, he's good, and that running back is like good to go. Good to go.
You're
no
hoping
issues
he's good
whatsoever. He's been practicing. However, the one that hasn't been practicing and the one that didn't practice today, Terry McLaurin. So close, both, Terry McLaurin could be out again. Jaden Daniels is still playing, though. I have the utmost faith in the Commanders to beat the Bears, but that's also because I have zero faith in the Bears. They're a QB carousel with no consistency whatsoever, and Caleb Williams is not that guy. I
mean, he's getting better. The offense has looked better under Ben Johnson, but it really couldn't look worse. So I guess that doesn't say a whole lot about their team.
Yeah.
And just for the sake of tiebreaker, in case we tie this week, I have 52 points in this game. I think it's going to probably end up being like a 27-24 type of affair, and I want to make sure I always go over on the number just in case it goes crazy. So I think it's going to be high scoring. I really do.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to tie this week.
No.
I genuinely don't think we're going to tie this week. There's so many wild card picks for myself. I think one or the other is going to win this. So,
but you know who's going to tie? The Titans and the Raiders. They're going to have a tie.
The Titans and the Raiders. That's the only tie that's going to happen.
4-1 for both of these squads after this week. That was one sentence pick'ems. I think that went well. Maybe next week we just go back and forth on that. So I give my one sentence, and then we talk about it both of them. So like each game, one of us has a sentence. So we're not having to do both. Yeah. That might be how we do it. But we're going to move into what's more likely. If you've never watched the show before, the way this segment works is we're both going to ask you and each other a question that's formatted in what's more likely, this, or this. Break it down, give an answer, and we'd love to hear from you guys in the chat. So I will be ready with the poll, and I'm going to ask the first question this week if I can figure out how to get the poll going. So, what's more likely? Aaron Judge wins a ring with the Yankees, the Oilers win a Stanley Cup with McDavid, or the Bills win the Super Bowl with Allen. And this is over the course of their entire careers moving forward.
Oh, like which one will happen first?
What's more likely to happen in general?
McDavid winning with the Oilers. They were already so close. I think they just needed a few key components. I know that earlier this week, whenever we did the show, I was talking about the Florida Panthers possibly going for a three-peat. There's part of me that thinks that the Oilers did what they needed to do, not only with the most recent McDavid contract extension, but with some of the offseason moves that they made to, I don't know, close that gap to get back to where they need to get back to. And at least within the next couple years, I think McDavid and the Oilers are going to be able to hoist that banner in their stadium. I think they're going to be able to take Lord Stanley on a tour. I genuinely, out of all three, not saying that Josh Allen won't get a Super Bowl with the Bills or Aaron Judge won't get a ring with the Yankees. I think out of all three of those, though, that one is the most likely, or even the one to happen first.
I am going to go with Aaron Judge wins one with the Yankees on this because they're close. They keep supplementing the roster every year. They have infinite money to throw around. At some point, they'll break through. The AL will be weak one year, and it kind of was weak this year. You think about it, if they beat the Blue Jays, all they got to do is take care of the Mariners or the Tigers. You have teams like the Astros that kind of owned them in the past. They're kind of falling out of favor here. Teams like the Guardians made it this year. The Red Sox, a lot of mid teams in the AL right now. So I think they'll eventually get it done, especially because Judge is going to be there for the rest of his career, most likely. I'd like to say Allen with the Bills, but you've heard my gripes. I don't like what our GM has done. I don't like our coaching. And then the big thing, your Oilers. You say the Oilers. They don't have a goalie that I can rely on in the playoffs. It happens every year. You got to have depth scoring. You got to have all the lines working. And for the other team, the game plan is always simple. Take away McDavid, take away Draisaitl, and you're probably going to win the series. So I'm going with Aaron Judge on this one. Looks like the chat is also going with Aaron Judge, but that's only one vote. So not everyone's voting on it.
Hey, it's fine. One vote is still one vote for the Aaron Judge one.
I don't hate yours. Yours is the second most likely because they're close. But two guys can't will a team to a championship, especially with their style of play. When you have two stars in the team that take up that much money, you can't afford depth. With the cap going up, they might be able to with what McDavid just did with this contract, but I don't know. Anyways, now it's your turn. So get your poll ready for the chat and let me know what's your more likely question.
Mine very much revolves around this playoff for the MLB.
Okay.
Right? Toronto got it done against the Yankees, and they looked just dominant throughout the entire run. We talked about that before the show. We talked a little bit about that earlier in the show. They're doing great, and they're looking the best form they can look right now. However, there's still one on the opposite side that can kind of ruin that. And they're leading their series right now. They're leading their series 2-1. And I think that it's very much so. So, enough delaying. So, Toronto takes early advantage of their dominance, and they finish the run for the World Series. You know, they beat a legacy team like New York, and they just finish the job. Or do we see the Dodgers come back or finish off the Phillies, finish off either the Cubs and Brewers, and then come in and spoil Toronto's dream run and win that back-to-back World Series? Which do you think would be more likely?
If you said more likely, I'm going with the Dodgers on this one because the Dodgers are a more complete team, and I think the Mariners are going to win tonight. Not tonight, tomorrow night. And if the Mariners win, they're beating the Blue Jays. I wholeheartedly believe that. We are a better baseball team than the Blue Jays are, so that would stop them. And the Tigers are also a 50-50 team there, where the Tigers are probably 50-50 with them, but the Dodgers, they have so much talent. And you know what? Screw all of that. I just thought about it a bit more as I went through my head. I'll actually go with the Blue Jays on this. Because if the Tigers win, the Blue Jays could beat the Tigers, and the Dodgers, now that I'm thinking about it, they struggled against the Brewers this year, and they're probably playing the Brewers in the next round. They could not get it done, and their bullpen has really struggled, and the Brewers have a really good approach to hitting, so I'm going to change my answer. I'm going with the Blue Jays are more likely to win than the Dodgers because I feel like the Phillies could still eliminate them and come back. You can't count out the Phils. And then the Brewers on the other side have a really good team this year, and I like what they're building, even though I'm a Cardinals fan, so I guess maybe I should say I don't like what they're building because we got to play against them every year. But yeah, give me the Blue Jays on this one. I hate changing my answer. It looks stupid, but I thought about it. And give me the Blue Jays on that.
When you break it down, it's just the best way to think about it. And I know where my answer lies, and my answer definitely lies with Toronto. I've made it very vocal that I want Toronto to win this. I think they're playing lights out baseball. I think the Dodgers have had their time, and I think the team that I want coming out of that bracket is probably it's got to be either the Brewers or the Cubs. I want the Central to be to be there. But,
yeah. Well,
Give me Toronto.
Let me just hope that these guys get it done. But we got Skubal in Game 5. We've done well against him. But we're going to move into the trenches. And I asked my question first, so I guess I'll give my hot take first since you got to give your first answer and breakdown.
Sure.
So this one is something you'll appreciate because you are the resident UFL guy. You know what's going on in that league, and you heard me before the show doing some research on some things.
Yes.
I believe...
This is where this comes in. I love this. Please.
So for me, I'm a big design guy. So the first part of this is the new teams have shitty-ass branding outside of the Aviators. Like, the Louisville team is just the DraftKings. And then the team in Orlando is just like a custom logo you'd find on Madden or something.
It's like
and you threw some, and purple and orange. And every team that's gone to Orlando so far in spring leagues has not had great attendance, even if the team's done well. I don't believe it's a good market when you have all of these college football teams that are in Florida. You have so many to choose from. You have Florida, Florida State, UCF, South Florida, a billion FCS schools, Florida Atlantic,
Miami.
And then you also have 3 NFL teams in the same state. So why are we trying to build spring football in Florida? It hasn't worked. And then also, like, Louisville is a good pick, but why are we the DraftKings? Like, you use their word mark, essentially. It's almost the same font. It's the same color scheme. You're the Kings, right? But you have a horse in your logo. But the Stallions are also a horse. I don't like the branding. I think it looks awful. And my final hot take on this is give Oakland and San Diego a team. Give them a chance. We have not seen any, like, westward teams ever since the LA Wildcats in the original XFL. Like, they don't get... they showed up for that, surprisingly. The LA Wildcats actually had decent attendance, which was shocking for an LA team, because usually they don't support new things unless they win. But San Diego and Oakland are going to be the same thing as St. Louis. We lost our team. We're upset. We'll show up. We'll support. It seems like the obvious answer, and it's not too far away from Arlington, because Arlington's middle of the country. So that's your base. That's where you're practicing. The plane flight's not too far away. And they have old stadiums that can still be used. So that's where I'm at on this, is the UFL needs to work on their branding and put teams in better markets, because I'm not a big fan of where they put some of these squads.
So I wholeheartedly agree with you on that. I think Louisville and Orlando should have been Oakland and San Diego. I genuinely don't think that is a bad take. I think Columbus, though, is a very good market.
I like that one a lot. And their branding is sick.
The logo is a little iffy. I'll say that purely because the Bengals fan that I talked to, they're from Columbus. They actually live on the OSU campus. And where the Columbus Aviators are going to be playing is like 10 minutes from the OSU campus. They said it almost looks like the Avengers A, which I can't get that out of my head now, because if you look at it, it does look like the Avengers A. But
here,
you're not the only one with that concern, because a lot of people didn't even like the new UFL logo. Like, the original UFL logo was kind of okay, but it looked like UFL in parentheses. And I brought this up. I was like, I do like the retro look of the new UFL logo. However, it looks like somebody put a PNG, like a PNG football, and then just typed UFL on it.
Yeah, let me pull that up too. New UFL logo. You can keep talking about it, but this is the new one, right? The football.
That's the new one. Yeah, that's the new one. But that's what I mean, is it looks like somebody took a PNG off of Canva or something, posted it, and then just UFL cut out of it.
It is very bland.
It's simplistic, and it's very simplistic, but supposed to be retro.
It's just
instead of simplistic, futuristic.
It's not achieving anything. I'd like them to adopt their own colors other than black and white and start building something. Because the original XFL logo back in the day, like, what does the X stand for? We don't know, but it looks cool and it pops. And that's kind of where they went with things. So,
hate to do this to you. Give me just 1 sec.
So he'll be right back.
I'm already back.
Oh, he's already back.
Don't you worry.
Huge.
Since we're on the subject of logos, the original 2020 St. Louis Battlehawks logo, I love that, the way that the curved blades were. I think they never should have changed this logo. I'm on the side of my mic now. And then, as you were saying, The original XFL logo. This is how you know this hat is from 2020. That's that logo. That is gorgeous.
It works.
What does X stand for? Nobody knows. But guess what? It looks cool, so people didn't complain.
The Extreme Football League.
That is how that is supposed to be done. Now, that was when the XFL was under Vince McMahon. We have better management now.
Debatable.
Mike Repole is the new CEO who took over.
Which he's made some good moves. I'm not shitting on the new owners.
He has made some very good moves. But he's gave more attention to the UFL in the past couple months than The Rock and Danny Garcia did over the past couple years since they've owned it.
They were bad. They were really bad.
They're awful.
So I'm with you on that. But what is your hot take this week?
We're going to stay in the realm of football, and we're actually going to go to the Bengals here.
Oh.
I've made my opinions of Joe Flacco very well known.
And yet you've contradicted them already on the show by taking the Bengals.
And I'm going to contradict them again. You ready?
Oh, God.
I may have issues with Flacco being there, and I may think that we could have taken a better quarterback. However, I've seen a couple of their practice videos. I've seen how the offense is kind of responding to him there. A little bit more of a veteran other than just like that, backup that's just there to substitute. I think the team's mindset is getting a little bit more behind having that leader. So my hot take is that the Bengals are actually going to, I originally said thrive.
No.
But thinking about it, I think they're more going to survive under Flacco, and that he can still help carry us to a playoff berth. A very weak playoff berth, but a playoff berth nonetheless, so that way when Joe Burrow comes back, he can really take over and at least help carry us deep into the playoff.
So you think Joe Flacco is going to get you guys in the playoffs?
At least help us survive to where we have a shot in the playoff.
No, you said you're going to make the playoffs. This is a hot take segment.
I did. And I will stand by the fact that
stand
I
on
think
that.
we're going to...
Stand on that.
I do stand on the fact that I think we're going to make the playoffs. And I think Joe Flacco will help us survive this season. Again, I originally said thrive, but I'm changing that to survive.
Which is fair.
Survive the rest of this season to get into that playoff berth, so that way when Joe Burrow comes back, he can help carry us into the playoffs and actually get us winning in the playoffs.
All right, what's your schedule look like? I'm interested. I know we have us on the schedule. Let's just break this down here, and I know you know better than me on what your team looks like moving forward. But there are some weak ones in here, so let's take a look. You got the Packers this week. I think that's an L. You think it's a W. The Steelers, you never know. You're beating the Jets. You could beat the Bears if Flacco plays decent. You got the Steelers again. You'll probably split with them. Patriots are looking solid this year, but we don't know. The Ravens at that point in the season, is Lamar playing? Where are they at record-wise? Could be a toss-up, but I kind of lean on the Ravens at that point. They might have things figured out on offense. You're not beating the Bills with Flacco, but that is the beginning of December. So Burrow could be back. Please no.
That's the 1 week where I think me and you are going to go toe-to-toe, and I think we're going to have some uncomfortable conversations.
I think that's a punishment week, that whoever you take, we're going to have to figure something out.
Punishment week on Zuggy Zone. Week 14?
Something like that.
Week 14 of the NFL season. We'll come up with something.
But you guys have a shot. You finished the year with the Dolphins, the Cardinals, and the Browns. With Burrow back, you guys should win all 3 of those games. You add 3 more onto your current record, that gives you a 5. So then you're asking Flacco to give you 5 wins in the time that he's here, most likely to get in, unless a 9-8 team can somehow squeak in. That's a big ask, but it's possible. So I'm not going to completely write you off on that one, and I like that you're standing on business here with your team. But now it's time to go outside of our teams and outside of the realm of football. Unless you decided to go all football. I didn't actually look at what your picks were this week because I don't want to cheat. It's time for Battle of the Bets. And the way Battle of the Bets works is we put together each week a 3-leg parlay. And if that 3-leg parlay hits, you win money. Whoever has the most money at the end of the month is our winner. And I do realize that this graphic needs to be updated. This is not the correct graphic all the way through. So if you look at it, I should be plus 125 in my career. You should be minus 225. I can fix that after the show. I'm 2-0. He's 0-2. He's trying to get on the board and take me down this month. So, Jet, what do you got for week 2 here?
So I think the first line is going to be pretty simple. It's Blues' first game. I'm very excited here in St. Louis. I'm not sure where to watch it on TV because I won't be able to attend the game, unfortunately. But I will be watching that game, and I will.
It'll probably be on FanDuel, and if it's not, it'll be on ESPN, or I think TNT also has rights to it. I don't think this is a primetime game, but at the beginning of the season, there's a lot of stuff. Anyways, continue on.
Jimmy Snuggerud. He showed why the Blues picked him at the end of the season. And I think higher than 1.5 shots on goal is underselling his commitment to what he's going to do tonight to the team. So, yeah, that first line, it's a gimme pick, or what I think is a gimme pick.
Yeah.
I think that is just kind of one of the easier legs. Another one is tonight. Two of my 3 legs are tonight games. And this one I'm also going to watch. I'll maybe do a little dual screen action on this one. We're going to Giants and Eagles, and we're going to go Mr. CTE himself, Cam Scattaboo, higher than 48.5 rushing yards. Oh my God. I mean, if you see him run, he bulldozes through anybody, and he does the most illegal thing in the league, and that is lead with his head. But apparently, he is just not Tua. He's not Tua-coded. He doesn't get concussions. He is the concussion. So I think that one is another gimme. I think Jackson Dart is going to sort of hand it off a little bit to hopefully penetrate that D-line. I do understand that the D-line is a very heavy source of contention when it comes to any sort of rush yards for any team. But that secondary for the Eagles is killer. I think they're going to try and lean a little bit more on that run game than they are the pass game. So give me Cam Scattaboo. And then my last leg, and this is the game that I'm actually going to go watch in person on Saturday. Yeah. And this is the man that I have on college fantasy, so I have the utmost faith in this man. And that is Ahmad Hardy out of Mizzou. He is the running back, and it is higher than half a rush or receiving touchdown. I need him to score 1 touchdown, which he's done so the entire season. He has scored at least 1 touchdown every single game. I need him to do that once against Alabama on Saturday in Columbia at Faro Field.
I'll say this. Vegas is really bad at hockey player pick'ems because it's so hard to predict. Snuggerud, that one feels like it should hit. He's a confident guy. He's a really good passer, but he has a good shot. And then Ahmad Hardy, if Mizzou is going to score and actually put up a fight, Ahmad Hardy has to be a part of it. So he'll probably score a touchdown if they look anything decent. If they get in the red zone, he's getting the ball. But Cam Scattaboo, I am a little worried, and I think that's where this could fall apart. But that's the risk you got to take because you got to put some numbers on the board here. You got to get those odds up, and you're putting 35 here to win 157. Yes. So one of the safer picks we've seen, but you're just trying to get on the board. That's the strat. Get on the board here.
At this point, I'm getting like 2 gimme picks, pretty much, and then the third one I'm gambling on, but I need him to get just below 50, and most starting running backs get that anyway.
Yeah,
so
he should.
Scattaboo.
I am scared that he's going to get a bunch of yards and they're just going to throw screens and shit to him, but that's not how you use him. He's just really good at blocking. Need to use him in the blocking game. But what do I know? The Giants clearly don't know anything either about offense. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They lost to the Saints. All right. Here's what I got. I'm also a homer. I'm going with Jordan Bennington. They're going to be wearing their fresh new uniforms this year. As a design guy, I'm going to nitpick them. They look really good. It's just I wish that the numbers had outlines because everything else has lines, and then they didn't outline the numbers. My only nitpick, but I'm not going to nitpick this man. The Wild, they don't shoot the puck a whole lot. Like last year, I think they were 11th in the league in shots on goal. But look at that, 22.5 saves. That's not asking a whole lot. Like the Blues give up a lot of shots historically. If they give up 30 shots, Binnington's going to make 23 saves at least. Like the Wild aren't going to score 7 goals. So I'm looking at this from a practical standpoint of Jordan Binnington's a good goalie. The Wild are going to shoot the puck, and he's going to make a bunch of saves. They're not going to pull him game 1 either. It's game 1 of the season. He's going to ride it out all 60 minutes, even if the Wild are up big, which they shouldn't be. Saquon Barkley, last time he played against the Giants, he punished the hell out of them, almost 200 yards rushing. I know the Eagles are weird this year, and betting on him might not be the greatest idea, but he's going against his former team. He's definitely going to have a bit more energy. The Eagles need to have a good game. So give me Saquon Barkley, higher than 87.5 rush yards. And then Josh Allen against the Falcons. If we're going to win, Josh has to be a part of it. They didn't let Josh do enough against the Patriots. And this week, I think we're going to get back to basics. We're going to get down to the 1-yard line. He's going to sneak one in. So give me Josh Allen higher than half a rush. And that's going to get me my $150. Put me in the lead. And I'm going to go 3-0 in Battle of the Vets. But yeah, that's fun. We got some fun stuff. We say this every week. These feel like really good parlays, and they just never hit. Last week, I was 2 outs away from winning $300 in our parlay, but unfortunately, the Mariners actually did really, really well. The starter did great, and I love Logan Gilbert. I love my team. I wanted them to do good, but I wish we could have pulled in like 2 outs sooner. Anyways, we're going to move on to our final segment, which is wins and losses, where we just kind of wins and losses, which is essentially a segment where we're going to talk about what's going on across the NFL right now. And I'm going to let you take over on this because I have to fix something with the show because Stream Deck is being ultra annoying.
Alrighty, I gotcha. So first we're going to cover the AFC just because, we're both AFC fans. We're both bigger on that side, but at the same time, the AFC is just the better conference. So we're going to go ahead and start with them. More specifically, we are starting in the AFC East with Zuggy's team, and that is Buffalo Bills on top at 4-1 after their division rival, New England Patriots, gave them their first loss this past weekend, who just so happened to be in second place at 3-2. Dolphins at 1-4 and Jets at 0-5. The only competition is really between the Pats and the Bills. Other than that, that's about all you got to worry about. Going to the North, Steelers at 3-1, Bengals at 2-3. Hopefully the Bengals can clap back with Flacco. Maybe, maybe not. It remains to be seen. We'll see how this weekend goes, and we'll make our judgments there, especially since they play a division rival. It'll be interesting to see. Baltimore and Browns, they're pretty much out for right now, and especially with Lamar having no real timetable of coming back, I don't think the Ravens are going to do much better, and the Browns are the Browns. The Browns are the poo-poo Browns. They're bad. The AFC South, this is shockingly one of the most competitive divisions of the season so far, with both the Indianapolis Colts and the Jaguars at 4-1. I don't understand what is this wacko world of football that we're in right now, but the Colts and the Jaguars are one of the top teams. Like, they're 2 of the top teams in the AFC, and they're in the South, which me and you, Zuggy, have slandered since day one.
Yeah.
And it's, so yeah. There's that one. Houston Texans 2-3, and Tennessee Titans 1-4.
Yeah, before the season, we all thought the Texans are going to win by default because the other teams aren't great. But Liam Cohen's come into Jacksonville. He's really turned around everything there. And then the Colts, they're the only team here I trust. I don't necessarily trust the Jags to win a Super Bowl this year. But what the Colts are doing, it's really simple football, and offensively and defensively, they're getting it done. They have a lot of playmakers. I really like them. And I'm going to take over here for the NFC and AFC West. The Broncos are going to win this division because the Chargers cannot protect Herbert. That's kind of where I'm at on things. Either that or the Chiefs are going to come out of nowhere and snipe it in the final week. Because, Herbert's just struggling right now, man. He has no time to throw the football because everybody on his line's a backup. And then the Broncos are mid to, they're in that weird tier of they're, good, where the Steelers are normally at. They're a good team. They can beat anyone any week, but are they really elite? And then you got the Chiefs, who we know what they can do, and they probably will do at some point this season, but they haven't yet, and thank God for that. Raiders, we don't even need to talk about them. The Eagles are going to win their division. I have no doubt in my mind about that. The Commanders are good, but they're just not on that level. The Lions should win. They put enough distance between them and the Vikings and the Packers, and the Vikings this year are disappointing when you have your rookie quarterback who's not playing because McCarthy's been out. You got Carson Wentz in there. Doesn't inspire me a whole lot, and the Packers just, that tie against the Cowboys, that hurts. Losing to the Browns, that hurts. Those are games you need to win. So that's where they're at. And then the NFC South. The Buccaneers look like the class of this division. The Falcons do this thing every year where they pretend like they can compete, and the last few weeks of the season, they end up losing the division. And then the very bottom of our screen, this is the only race where I'm thinking one of these teams has a chance to go far in the playoffs. The 49ers, if they get healthy. The Seahawks, if they can continue to ride the lightning and their defense shores it up a little bit. And then the Rams are a good all-around team. The Cardinals we're not going to talk about, though. We already did talk about them earlier. Just mail it in for the season. Yeah, you're 2-3, but you might as well be 0-5 because I hate you guys. You guys are letting me down big time. And then the wild card, that's a thing. We'll look at the playoffs. If they were to start today, the Patriots are in. We talked about it last week. Your hot take was they're going to make the playoffs. Look at them right now. They're right there. And I mentioned the Jags as the team that we need to look out for that the Patriots are competing against. Look at the Jaguars now, 4-1. Maybe I need to look at the Broncos now, or maybe the Steelers, because let's be real, they are way too high up this list. They are not. They're not a top 3 team in the AFC, but it's a really open AFC this year, and that's why I'm so mad at the Bills, because look at these teams. You're telling me if we got in the playoffs, we couldn't run the table in the AFC right now?
Oh, dude, the Bills would dominate.
We should, but we lost to the Patriots this week. It would be a heartbreaking loss to one of these shitter teams, or somehow the Colts would go on a miracle run. I can't discount them. The Colts are actually playing much better football than us. But there was ever a year, it's this year.
I think what's funny is if we look at the AFC, that picture, look at number 10. That's the Chiefs. The Chiefs are not only missing the playoffs, but they're 3 spots down. The reigning Super Bowl back-to-backs just came off a Super Bowl. They would miserably miss the playoffs if they were to start this week. And I think they go 2-4. They're going to sink even more. That's bad. And
good for us, though. And then you got the Ravens down here. They're struggling. The Dolphins are worse than we thought. And then the bottom 3 teams are just, you knew what you were getting with them this year.
If you're a fan of them, you're a fan because you like misery, and that's about all that can be said on that front.
The NFC, though, it's weird. The 49ers feel very fraudulent, but that's because of injuries. We know what they are. They have good coaching. They have a really solid roster. But everyone's hurt again this year. I don't know what their training staff is doing in the offseason. I mean, are they just fighting each other, fist fighting in practice? Is that what they're doing?
Yeah.
How does this happen every year with you guys? I don't get it. We have to start thinking about changing your guys' turf too, because it's at this point it's almost as bad as MetLife's with the injuries.
Honestly, the NFC looks
it's tight. I mean, look at all this, though. I mean, you have all these teams that are competing, and I dare say, the Cowboys, if they had Micah Parsons, be a Super Bowl contender, but they're not.
Yeah.
They're right there. The Bears are a team that could sneak in. The Falcons have definitely enough talent to get in, but will Penix continue to look good? That's a question. The Rams are a solid team. The Commies should definitely be in. There are so many question marks here in the NFC that we can't really give a definitive answer on who's going to make the playoffs, but we do know the Lions and the Eagles, those are the big teams right now. They are the best teams in this conference, bar none. They're the teams I expect to see in a Super Bowl. Well, I guess they both can't be there, but the NFC Championship this year.
No, I think, honestly, the NFC, that playoff picture is pretty much what's going to be in the playoffs. Maybe not in that order. I think the Lions are going to be higher. I think the Niners are definitely going to be lower. I don't know. This season has been so wild and has broken every expectation from every NFL fan that it really needs to be seen to be believed of how wacky this whole football season will be.
Great.
It's been awesome.
It's good fun if you're a football fan because you can tune into a random ass game and still get a good one, something to watch.
Oh yeah,
especially if you don't have Red Zone. Like Fox and CBS throw you a shitty game in your area, like last week. If you had to watch the Panthers-Dolphins game, they gave you a good announcer who had a bunch of energy. I think his name is Eric Collins. I know his last name's Collins. A lot of energy, made the game feel like a Super Bowl when it's two teams that are definitely not going to be playing in one.
No.
So yeah, I think the product's been pretty solid this year. Referees though. It's the same thing as always. The Bills this year have only had one holding call go in their favor. That's like not statistically possible. Like, can we stop being blind? Can the back judge pay attention a tiny bit? Like, our pass rush is pretty solid. We should be generating some holding calls. I understand you want to keep the games tight, but can you call something?
So, speaking of the markets, this is just a little nitpick here. The Dallas-Carolina game is going to be, like, everywhere. Like, 90% of the country.
Ew.
Just
no
on
reason.
Fox. But not St. Louis. You want to know what game St. Louis gets on Fox?
Do we get the Rams?
We get the Rams and the Ravens.
Oh, my God, bro.
Wow. That is... Probably going to get another hot take for next week. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I will save my reservations there. But I just wanted you to know that, talking about markets, somehow we get the LA game.
That's so bullshit. All right. Well, that is all for Zuggy Zone. We will be back next Thursday around the same time. Thank you to everyone who showed up. We had some consistent viewership again. And we'll try to get some YouTube shorts out. I got work in an hour, so maybe I'll get one or two posted. But that stuff does take time. You know, I don't want to rush something out that looks like shit. But we'll see you guys next time. Thank you all so much for coming in. And Jet, you have any finishing thoughts before we end today's show?
Love y'all. Thank you. Can't wait to see you next week. It's good to be in Zuggy Zone.
Well, we got 10 more seconds, so I guess I'll say the following things. Go Blues, go Mariners, Bills, figure it the fuck out, and we'll see you guys next week.